Hey, René here. Should we play a game? Today we're going to be playing a different game to last time as we finished Obscure. The ending blindsided me too. We are going to be playing Countdown Vampires, a Resident Evil clone from 1999 by Bandai. So, being a kind of a coming at this from a more Western perspective, I wasn't even aware that Bandai made games until they merged with Bandai Namco. But looking at the history, it turns out, yes, they in fact were instrumental in the early library of the NES, so shows what I know. Now, am I easy or am I normal? Oh, 1 second. Let's go with normal. Oh, okay. So, I see we're missing many characters in here that would be used to spell a lot of names. But we'll go with that, that will do. Can I leave the... oh yeah, there we go. Blood type? I don't have any blood. I wonder what this even does. I wonder if this is... if it's not going to be difficulty because we've already selected the difficulty. Oh, I wonder if this is one of these... I know that many Japanese people believe that your blood type has a significant impact on your personality, and I wonder if this changes some element of your stats, but... Let's go for the first option. I'm sure that's the neutral option, right? Maybe you have to get a transfusion pathway through the game or something. Hey, what's going on here?
I'm a homicide detective from a neighboring state.
Hello.
And I specifically come here for a very simple reason. I'm working as a guard for the VIPs at the Casino Hotel opening party.
The Casino Hotel, not just any Casino Hotel. The Casino Hotel. Hello, K2C, whoever you are. Okay. Hello, I'm here from the boy band. I'm here to I'm here to guard you. Okay, we got some production value here. We got... yeah, you consider that in 1999, someone would have had to presumably modelled all these and animated them. There's quite a few characters going on here. Now, they've got quite a heavy depth of field effect, which may be covering up for the fact that they don't have many unique character models, or maybe they're not animated. But still, this is production value I was not expecting. I mean, these title cards are a little bit... Music's a bit strange in that it's... I don't know if the music quite fits. I mean, is this supposed to be the kind of music they're playing in this venue? It doesn't quite fit. Just the one background, actually. Hey, it's Jason! Hold up, Jason, how you doing? It's been so long. Oh. Speeding up a little bit. Oh, I see a late 90s CGI cat. Quite impressive to, hit the uncanny valley so hard with something that isn't even human. Hey, this is my kind of party. Is that Chris Redfield? Is that Nikolai? What is happening? Oh.
Quick! Water! Water!
What on earth is happening? Yeah, I'd like to point out sprinklers are not that effective. They're They're to slow a fire, not to completely put one out. At least as far as I know.
Well, this is an incredible horror show, eh?
Oh no. Oh no. I didn't think I'd actually have to guard anyone.
Go to the exits! Hurry! Hurry up and get out!
I did think this was a lot of people for a Resident Evil clone. Oh no. No, you killed Jason.
The exit is blocked because of that fire.
What? We were going to exit through the... What?
Freeze! Come any closer and I'll shoot, got it? Stop! I will shoot!
Wait, we set fire to the water? What? Oh no. Did the people turn into zombies when they get bitten? Is that what we're implying here?
You alright? What are they? Get out of here! They're vampires!
They're vampires, bro. You haven't seen them before? Wait, put them into milk. That'll make them okay.
It turns them back to normal.
Like, I'm just here to look cool.
Here, use this. But what about you? I've got one more. Wait here. I'm gonna look around.
Okay. Oh, okay. Leave the area within 3 minutes. Have the screaming moving door. Use the anesthetic. Oh, okay. I hope I didn't need any of that because I was still reading it. That was a pretty cool loading screen, if that's what it was.
Fire prevention procedures, code CR01. Club Regan will be sealed off in 3 minutes.
What fire?
Please leave Club Regan immediately and proceed to a safe shelter area.
Okay. I'm liking this animation. He's like, okay. Oh, it can't climb stairs though. They look more like they're drunk or something than. Okay, is it? Okay, hold on R1 to take a combat stance, and I've got 2.5 minutes to get out of here. Oh. Oh, okay, and you hold down triangle to run. That's an interesting choice of button. These backgrounds are quite nice. I mean, this is one thing I'll always say about a lot of the games from this era. I'm yet to play one of these that had ugly backgrounds. Okay, not around here. Keep exploring. Is this a doorway? I wonder if the doorway might actually be past the zombies, so you kind of have to. Oh no, oh, the key is damaged. Oh. Okay, so we're after a replacement key, I suppose. Do we have ammunition for this? We have a lot of stun bullets. Also, this UI. Damn, this looks like... I want to say it looks like Jemadar stuff from Deep Space Nine. And then in the bottom right corner, white water. We have an infinite amount of white water by the looks of it. Interesting. And cash? This game has a money system? Oh, a map. Number of circuits in use. What is even... What is this? But we're a security guard who escaped a boy band, not a cyborg. Okay, I kind of cornered myself here. Okay, auto aim. Oh, it just drops them temporarily. Okay. Oh, no. The mash out of it. Oh no! Oh no! Hey, that was nice. Knocking one of them down, knocking both down. What's this? I guess I need to be searching all the bodies, huh? See if someone else has got a key. Oh dear. Oh, oh! I got away with that. Okay, that was nice. There's a bit of great. Yeah, as long as you keep moving, it looks like it's pretty hard for them to hear you. Okay, we're probably going to fail this first hurdle because I'm a little distracted by all the pretty graphics. Oh, what's this? Ah, a door. Ah, that security guard died. He sure did. Okay. So I wonder, is this not an open structure like a Resident Evil or a Deep Fear? Because if not, that's sort of interesting. Oh. Was I supposed to go this way?
This white water turns them back to normal.
Okay. How do I use the white water? I can see that I've got an infinite amount of it, but... Also, my condition's still good. And didn't I get pounced by 2 zombies? Kind of interesting. Oh, no, I want to leave this menu, thank you. Oh, hang on. Come on, jerks, let's go. Oh, no, 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 I didn't want to change weapon. No, no. All gone horribly wrong. Ah! Oh no, there's another one! Ah! How's my condition? Ah, there we go. Oh, okay. So it's not like a sequence of, say, you know, dots that get blanked out as you take damage. It's just a sort of a vague one, like it's sort of a vague bar, like what you get in Resident Evil. That makes sense. And also, this game implements the whole. Oh, no, go, go. Okay. Uh-oh. Ah! I used to... Oh, no, no. Okay, so it's, if you've got more than one like this, it's actually quite difficult to make use of the stun gun. There's some kind of object here that looks interactive. Is it? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. Now what's confusing is some menus in this use circle, like, you know, a Japanese game, and some of them use X, like a Western game. Okay, that restores my health, okay. Once I've got a little bit of a handle on this, I might start over, because I don't know how punishing this game is. I don't know whether I've really, you know, done myself in by not handling the opening of the game super well. Oh. Oh, where are we going here? Again, nice backgrounds, just really nice detail. Yeah, that guy who did that one background really put the effort in, huh? Ooh, a blinky light. What does this mean? Yeah, sure. Okay. I think I understand what it's telling me to do. There we go. Is this a keycard? Oh, a VIP pass. Okay. Because the character model is also really good. I mean, obviously a lot of the details being lost by the PlayStation 1's geometry engine thing, but oh, okay. But it looks really well done. The texture's really nice on it. All staff members, slot machine breakdown repair procedures. Normally operating have a blue light in the upper sections, the lamp turns red, something's not working correctly, shouldn't occur. Get the inside. That's not enough. I like the idea that someone panics because the slot machine's broken. Okay. Ah, that must be that Cheryl room that we've got to pass. No, hang on, no. Ooh, more darts. I shall take them. Yeah, it seems to take a lot of darts to drop on those guys, and well, I like the wallpaper, and I didn't notice that before. And you can get them out pretty quickly, and I imagine it's quite easy to run out because whereas in most horror games you're placing shots very carefully, one after the other. In this, you really have to pepper them with darts. Also, the fact that if you don't... Oh, hello. Ow. And then how do I use white water? Oh. Okay, you have to play quite smart and really separate them out, huh? Because they do get back up. Oh, I've got myself cornered. I thought that was walkable. Yeah, I might start over once I've gotten a bit more of a feel for this, just so I'm not completely, clearing myself from resources, because I think I might be doing that right now. Oh, he got back up. What? Ah. Oh, hang on. Oh no, I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? Okay. Yeah, let's keep going because I'm still getting a feel for how this game works. Oops, no, I didn't mean to do that. That is some slow. You have to wait for that animation. It's a good, 600 milliseconds long, and you have to wait for the whole thing to be finished before you can proceed. Oof. Oh, hello. And then give the white water. So that almost works like the burning the bodies mechanic in Resident Evil Remake, I guess, except whereas in that you had a limit on how much lighter fluid you could obtain, which meant that you had to be kind of tactical about when you did it. In this, it's just something you do. A bit strange that they put an infinite symbol on that, because it implies that it's maybe not infinite in some modes. Oh dear. But also, it doesn't seem to be much of a choice so far. Wait, are you gonna? No, okay, you're not gonna do it. Okay. Knock it off, buddy. Oh no, it's gonna get back up. Oh, this game has a quick turn. I just accidentally activated it. Oh, that was a good death sound. I mean, like that was worth the death. Everybody do that. That animation is just great. Okay. Let's try this over. And now we've got a little bit more of a feel for the game. Let's do that again, but without, screwing everything up. wonder how you save this, whether it has limited saves, whether it has objectives or what. Yeah, so far the blood group didn't seem to factor into anything. I wonder if there's going to be a you know, blood donation mechanic or something somewhere in the game. Or if maybe certain vampires would be attracted to certain blood groups. It could be interesting.
Fire prevention procedures, code CR01. Club Regan will be sealed off in 3 minutes. Please leave Club Regan immediately and proceed to a safe shelter area.
Oh no, a zombie. Turn around and run. Ah! The tech for these kind of games is always quite impressive because of course these early consoles didn't have a lot of texture memory, and even these kind of like fairly muddy sort of palletized images at a low resolution, probably quite a strain on the on the amount of video memory they had available. I gotta say, when you know where you're going, that 3-minute timer is not... I feel like it's got generously sized for a first time playthrough, but on subsequent playthrough it's kind of a bit of a joke. Okay, now we get a tutorial about covering them in milk.
This white water turns them back to normal.
Right, there were 3 of them in here, so I need to get moving on the first one straight away. You gonna do it? No, I guess he's not gonna do it. Okay. Maybe it takes more than one. Oh, it switched targets halfway through. Ah, that wasn't good. I wonder if it, because some of these games memorize, for instance, Deep Fear memorizes enemy locations when you leave and re-enter a room. I wonder if this is one of those. I hope it's not. If it is, there's a big pile up of vampire zombies right at the top of the stairs. And I'm going to be heading back that way pretty soon. Oh. What does that say? Keno ticket first game. Keno ticket first game. No. Okay. Got a clue for some kind of puzzle here. Okay. Yeah, good question. I like the way that all items are just this really obvious sort of orangey browny box for some reason. And last time I was in here, I managed to find a puzzle of some kind, didn't I? Where is it? Where has it gone? It has escaped me. Oh, there it is. Because I managed to open it last time. Oh, I need to stand here, didn't I? There we go. Yep, let's open this lock. Okay, so I seem to remember I did that. Easy game. This is about the red light. There's a slot machine with a red light on top of it. Open it, look inside it, do something, I guess. But most importantly, don't panic. Let's see if there's a puzzle here we can solve, because there was a thing about... Oh. Okay, I was expecting to be able to, like, you know, manipulate the cards or something, but I guess not. Can we reload our tranquilizer gun and make sure that it's fully... Oh, it is fully loaded. Okay. Right. Oh, this is a different door. Okay. Stop or I will shoot. See? How do I wipe water him? What? Nothing happens. He was like, yeah, just use the white water. I'm like, how? How do I do it? Oh, hello. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, this must be that cash mechanic. Yeah, so there's cash in the hood and it looks like you can spend it on, yeah, health items. That's interesting. And then we have some kind of item here. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no, but double turned. Move, move. Oh, see, this might be a deep fear where, like, dodging the enemies is so ridiculously easy that, yeah, man, they have hitboxes, like, I don't know, for ants? I don't know. Couldn't store nothing in that hitbox. Okay, so we have ID cards for Clubs Nancy and the other one? Oh, I've forgotten already. Oh no! I don't understand how you use that white water thing. It just doesn't seem to trigger every time. Oops, I went the wrong way. Well, there's a sign for Club Nancy, so I should probably head that way. Oh, reset the room. It does look like the room's reset when you leave, which is good. That was really annoying in Deep Fear because quite often there was only one way into a room, and it meant that if you left the room and didn't kill everything, it would be right next to the door when you came in. Well, the guy did that very mask taking on and off animation. Yeah, sure, I'll take some more darts. Seems to be a lot of ammo. I mean, it seems that they're expecting you to use this dart gun quite a bit. Okay, what's in here? Wow, there's a lot of them, and they move quite quickly. Okay, there's a Club Alice. Ooh, 9mm bullets. Ow! Oh no, geometry! Save me, Nancy! How are we doing for health? I'm guessing we're probably fine because we've only had a few glancing blows. Okay, so we need to power an elevator. Okay. Does sort of make sense that in the event of a fire, the elevators would cut out, although you'd think there'd be a fire escape we could use. Well, that said, given earlier that a fire on the stage meant that people can get off the floor, this building probably has quite poor safety, poor fire safety compliance, to say the least. What do we have here? Oh, health item. Right, let's see what's up the staircase, shall we? I don't think they can follow upstairs. Oh, there's some kind of item over there I should probably get eventually. Oh. Again, like, yeah, the technical elements to this are very competent. Like the like occlusion between foreground and background objects is, you know, something very subtle, but it all works very well. Like the technical implementation appears to be completely solid. The camera transitions, although this isn't running off a real disk drive, are quick, especially compared to oh, I'm trying to think of which Resident Evil it was on the PlayStation 1 that had these really long switches. Okay, let's keep moving. See what's through here. Oh yes, this is where I've been before. Game's like, use the white water, and I'm like, ow. Because I have infinite of it, but it's just refusing to use it. Might need to look this up before the next time I play this. Oh, I need to remember to reload. Oh, that's a bit cheap. Come on. What we got here? Nope. Can't whitewater them either. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I managed to whitewater one. I don't know. I simply don't know. Is there a way to reload this from here? There we go. Okay, yeah. You just sort of drag and drop the ammo onto the gun. That makes a lot of sense. That's actually quite a neat way of doing it. I do feel that this game may originally have been a little bit different. This menu does not really fit this game, and a lot of the environments are very kind of metallic looking. I wonder if they started building things and were maybe working in a more sci-fi direction before they settled on this, you know, sort of super edgy late 90s, early 2000s vampires direction. And these tranquilizer darts have got a bit of range, huh? Let's see if I can get the hang of this. Oh, there we go. Oh, you just have to stand in a very particular spot. Okay. Let's reload this tranquilizer. It makes sense to do this, I think, given that, you know, especially in tight spaces like this. I don't know how often I'm going to be coming through here, but it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of room to maneuver. You know, I was dodging around them in the corridors and rooms because it felt possible, but this is a bit more tight. Okay, yeah, you basically need to be, if you look at the, kind of when they drop, they've got a shadow kind of like under their upper chest, and you basically need to be touching that. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it's at least something I can keep in mind as I'm playing this. Game's controls are weird. No, he's not doing it. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, you know, ticket. I thought that's vegan for a moment. Yes, I will go to the vegan strip club if you don't mind. Okay, we've got some kind of computer here. I'm guessing that's where we can put the ticket or something. I don't actually know what you know it is. Oh, but I'm not 100% what it is. Well, let me just make sure that my trank gun is reloaded. Oh! Oh, you can whitewater them before they even hit the ground. That's neat. I might have taken a few hits there. No. Again, like, you know, if you take glancing blows, seems pretty generous. It doesn't, you know, if my health is going down, it's not enough that I've noticed it so far, and I have been taking a lot of glancing blows. Uh-oh. What do we have here? Oh, we can buy a map. That's interesting. I don't know how much it costs. Was that 1J a price? Oh, look, I think it had 150. No, I don't think it was. Okay. Anyway, a map is a map. Let's have a look. Yeah, so we're here, and I'm guessing the rooms that are kind of filled in with kind of like, for example, this one here that has kind of like almost kind of schematic of the floor plan. I'm guessing we've explored that one, and I'm guessing the ones that are filled in blue, like this one up here, I'm guessing we have not explored those ones. It looks like there's a room here at the back of this kind of map area. Yellow things, I'm assuming, are doors. I'm not quite sure what the red markers are. Maybe locked doors. Yes, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can see that. Oh, okay. So that sort of walkway we were just on, where I stunned and whitewatered the 3 people because it was so tight. That actually crossed over the room we were in before with the stage on it. Okay. So yes, there's actually a staircase in. Oh, hang on, I have been up there. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like the only kind of room I haven't been in so far is the sort of like the office behind me. So I'm gonna see if I can drop those. Oh, I can zoom in. That's nice. I'm gonna see if I can drop those other zombies that are currently milling around. Also, I have just realised actually, some of these edges are like off by a pixel. Did they model these outlines rather than texturing them? Nah, couldn't have been. How do I leave this? Oh, I have taken some damage. Now though, I'm going to hold off on. Oh, no, oh! Okay, now we take a drink. And yep, okay. This weapon actually makes sense for a security guard to have. I mean, yeah, like it's non-lethal, it actually makes a lot of sense. Again, it also makes a lot of sense for there to be drinks in a bar. Might be one of the very few kind of like games of this style where all the items and the setting make a bit of sense. Ah! Oh, do we have a safe room? That's an okay safe room theme. It's alright. Oh, what kind of puzzle do we get this time? Oh, it's the same one. Okay, so... Wait, is this literally the same puzzle? I mean, I don't think it is because I've just screwed it up, but... It's almost exactly the same puzzle. It had almost the exact same solution. Oh, we've got a key card for Susie. Is this how we save? It is. So, unlimited saves by the looks of things. Well, this game has some quite gratuitous animations. What's this, an item? Is this where we can, is this item box? Oh, okay, we've got an item box and we can see one item in this at a time. Hang on, number of circuits in use 149. Have we lost one? Did we spend that on the map? In which case, where did my cash go? Anyway. Yes, that's the item box. I don't think we need that just yet. Mail. What's this all about? Can we read notes or something? Oh. Okay, it looks like we simply don't have any mail to read. Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to switch back to the weapon I meant to use. By the way, it says loading for whatever you've got equipped. Not, you know, equipped or, you know, armament or in use, just loading. It sounds like you're putting bullets into it or something on this menu, right? Okay. Can I have white water him this time? No. There's just some stupid reason to it. Oh, those might be the broken slot machines that we're talking about. Oh, no. Oh, no, I've got stuck. Ah! Right, so I think it was, hang on, let's just have a look at that map here. If you could please hold on one moment, zombie, I am looking at my map. Yeah, I think it's up here. I'm gonna have to look into that white water mechanic. There might be something more to it that I'm not understanding. Like perhaps there's like 2 levels of downing a zombie, and one of them allows you to white water them, one of them doesn't. Oh, wow, you were fast. But I'm faster. It was Susie that we got a card for, wasn't it? I could have sworn I saw a Susie card around here. I think I might be cornering myself. Also, I think I'm going a bit slower because I've taken some damage. Nope, that's Legan. That's just me or more of them. I think this might be the one that had the elevator that was... Yeah, I believe this is the one that had the elevator. So where have I seen Susie? I've definitely seen Susie somewhere. Yeah, okay, yeah, actually that was where I saw her. It's just that it wasn't that... The primary problem was the lack of power, not necessarily I didn't have the ID card. So let's see if we can do something about that power situation. I haven't seen anything so far that might look like a fuse box or something, but no doubt there'll be one. Oh, hang on, there was an item on the side there, but I'm gonna have to reset the room. Ow! Ow! Oh dear! Oh dear! Come on, run that, run that, run. What do we have here? What file? The new century gives birth to a horror casino hotel. It's called the Desert Moon. It was handled by the great horror movie director Randy Jones of the Beast Moon movie series. Jones has been invited to recreate a movie-like horror show for the opening party. Well, we'll give you a wonderfully horrible evening. Oh, hey, oh no, oh, just about got away with that. Okay, so I need to herd everyone into this corner. I love how fast they move, it's so funny. Is the game supposed to run this fast? I feel like we're having the opposite problem to what we were having when we were playing Deep Fear, which is that game was running far too slow, as it was a a 50 Hz PAL conversion that may not actually have been a complete conversion. Okay, let's head back down here and continue exploring. Oh yeah, I need to see if I can do something with those slot machines at some point. There was that Keno table where I had... Oh! That threw me for a loop then, because I was sort of, what's happening? Who are these guys? I didn't ask for this. Right, 256, and we've got that. Can I view it? No. Oh, I see. We have notes that we haven't actually read yet. Okay. So, did we murder a guy before this game? And rather than my reading of that, and it could either be a mistranslation or perhaps me picking up the wrong implications, is that we murdered our homicide detective partner, and as punishment, we're going to guard a hotel. Okay. We have a police badge? Just death is written on the back of the police badge. It's like, are we the baddies? Okay, this is the invitation card we picked up in the other room. That's the thing about the... Okay, what's the staff memo pad? I think I've read that one. Yes, Keno ticket, first game. Buttons in this game are so confusing. Like, I mean, you know, if they're swapped around circle and X, that's, you know, he's always get a bit confused, but at least like it's usually consistent. In this, they're all over the place. Like some menus they've swapped them around, some menus they haven't. Some you back out by pressing circle, some you back out by pressing square, some you back out by pressing start. Oh, if I could get past her. What's this way again? Right, let's see if I can... No, he's, again, refusing to wipe water this fool. I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm bleeding through tranquilizer darts here if I cannot get that mechanic to work. Oh! Did you not? Oh, the bottle. I thought that was just a health item. It looks like it's not. Maybe you can unload the drinks into the bottle and use it to store multiple of them. Yeah, to use fewer inventory slots. That'd be kind of a cool mechanic. Also, this game gives you a lot of, much like Deep Fear. I mean, like, I think Deep Fear might have had infinite inventory slots, but this seems like a lot of them. Kind of interesting how, you know, Resident Evil kind of like had that mechanic and so much was built on it. And it's one of the very few things people didn't seem to copy that much. Oh no, I've taken too much damage. I could have bought something from the vending machine, but honestly I'm expecting this run to be a bust given I can't figure out how the... I'm too stupid to press X properly. And, Oh no, I got turned around. Ah! Hey, I am sucking at this game. How you doing? Unfortunately, I'm almost done for today. I've only got about 10 minutes left, but I'm starting to get a bit of a feel for this game, kind of like how it sort of works. Something I need to figure out is how there's a mechanic where after you what happened then? There's a mechanic where after you tranquilize an enemy, because so far we haven't had sort of like a normal pistol, we've only had to tranquilize a dart gun. You're supposed to be able to pour some white water on them, which is supposed to incapacitate them. And it's worked 1 or 2 times, but most of the time I walk up to them when they're on the ground, press X, and just nothing happens. And I'm sort of not sure if there's maybe some other criteria that have to be met that I've either not understood or the game hasn't explained particularly well. And we do have a flashing red door there, which might imply that I can unlock it now. Let's go see if that's true. But I'm probably going to die because I've wandered around in circles and taken a lot of hits. I would be clearing these rooms out, but again I can't quite get that mechanic to work properly where you incapacitate them with the white water. Okay. Oh, I keep forgetting that isn't actually a way you can go. Reset the room, reset the room. Kind of cool that they kind of refilled that room with enemies on a later visit. That was a good actual sort of, you know, jump. It did catch me out. Ow! Come on, you can do it. Was it this one? I shall check the map in just a second. Very, very, very slowly open the map. No, it's not this room. That one over there. Oh, but that's the corridor. That door that's red and flashing. That was the one that led to the elevator that needed power, and I haven't yet seen anything that could be used to supply power. What's this room down here in the bottom left corner? This one over here, it's just disconnected. That's interesting. I wonder if you come onto that from a different floor or something. Oh, we've got staircase on this. This is showing multiple floors at once. I'm going to guess I can't return to the opening area given that shutter closed behind us. One menu. Tempted to bind the fast forward button just for the menu animations. Oh, something I meant to check while I was in here was the slot machines have the red light on top of them, which was mentioned by that repair guy. Oh, ow! Why did I do that? Oh well, I can load a save and be less injured. Yep, I am dead. I wonder what the continue option does in this. Does it just load your most recent save? Does it? Oh, okay. Loads your most recent save. That's cool. Okay, let's see if we can use these slot machines to do something. No? Oh, I think it did mention it had to be a red a flashing red light. Just checking where we are, because I've forgotten if I did anything since I moved. It looks like I made basically no progress, so that's good. I walked around in circles, got hit a lot, and that was it. So I don't think we can head back through, given the shutters came down, but let's have a look. There might be something in the previous area that I missed. Oh! Should retitle this too. Awkwardly stumbles around and gets hit by things. Okay, no, I can't go that way. All right. Oh, I should switch weapon to one that, you know, works at range. Oh, you can aim up and down, okay. I think he's aimed at something. Okay, let's see if the white water mechanic works this time. Wait, oh, I thought he was disappearing into the ground and this animation was kind of pushing him sideways. Okay, let's have another little explore of this room. But yeah, you're supposed to be able to down them and then use white water to incapacitate them, but it just doesn't seem to work. It doesn't tell you what to actually... Oh, she's fast. Maybe you can only do it if all the enemies on the screen are down. That would make sense, I suppose. Actually, no, I've managed to start the animation before and then got interrupted, so I don't think that's it. Ah! Ah! Maybe there's something over here. Oh, no, no. I'm on caution, so... okay. Yeah, wrapping this up in a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on how that white water mechanic is supposed to work, because I think I'm meant to be exploring these rooms. It's kind of hard to do with really fast moving really fast moving zombies everywhere. I think there's just another door in it that was locked from the other side, so I can't really do anything with this. Fortunately, the zombies are a little bit... yeah, okay. They're not really capable of walking upstairs. So they just sort of go, oh no, where did he go? Where did he go? Have you seen him? Seen the guy who looked like he escaped from a late 90s boy band? Oh no, I got stuck on the table. Ah. Oh no, ah. I think the item was just a note, wasn't it? That didn't really say much. Yeah, it was. This was just the invitation card. Okay. Oh, I have got stuck. Looks like I'm going down. Yes, I'm going to have to come back when I've done that research to figure out how this game actually works. I'm probably about to die, so I might as well call it there. Yeah, that was not overly successful, but thanks to anyone who did watch. I'm sorry for making you suffer for me walking around in circles and getting lost a lot. I'm going to do a little bit of reading up on this game before I play it again, and hopefully be a bit less sucky at it. I'll see you tomorrow.